Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
That reminds me, I've been telling Chris since we moved here that we need to go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show when it happens during Halloween, and we didn't get to go last year, and I'm adamant this year that if we don't go, it's like a it's a breaker. Like,
right,
we have to go. And I'm, like, so excited. I've been, like, I made a, like, Google alert for it. Like, I'm so excited.
That's very wholesome, and
Thank you.
Love that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you gotta do, you know?
You had to do it to him.
God damn it.
What? You set me up for that.
I know. It's just, it's what I got. I mean, I have to, one, that's what I think of when I think of Halloween. And two,
yeah.
I enjoy the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
And three, it's how I have to support my favorite actor from
God.
the Muppet Treasure Island.
I forgot. Truly, I don't think I've ever been, like, genuinely mad on this podcast except for that one episode. When you were like, oh, Tim Curry from Muppet Treasure Island. So infuriating.
I was just being honest.
And that's the worst part. It wasn't a bit. If it was a bit, it would be funny, but God, it was too real.
I mean, it's just like there's a lot of actors that I feel like they've done fundamental things that are kind of, like, geared towards children.
Sure. That
stick out. Like, when I think about Gina Davis, there are, like, two things when I think about Gina Davis. Like,
right.
I think about A League of Their Own because I watched it religiously as a kid, and it's like, whoop, how did I not realize that?
Right.
But also, like, I think about Stuart Little, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Gina Davis. And it's like, a lot of people, like, and it's like, okay. And so I'm like, oh yeah, Gina Davis, that's Stuart Little's mom. And they're like, what the fuck? They're like, that's the poll that you have for Gina Davis, incredibly well-known actress.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
And it's like no shade. It's just like that is
what it is.
That's just what stuck out to me, you know?
You know, it's good to be familiar with someone's whole career, all of the highs and lows, and all the types of things they do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I will say that, like, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, you know, Gina Davis from Beetlejuice, and it's like, I didn't see Beetlejuice until, like, 3 years ago, so...
Right.
So, I mean, I just knew that, like, not to say it 3 times around them, because they were, like, you know, all superstitious about it or whatever.
Right.
Also, welcome to Into the Twilight. It's Halloween around these parts, bitches.
Spooky times.
It's like...
I'm gonna butt chug a PSL to later.
Oh my god. Do you think that this is, like, a relevant alcohol joke for, like, our audience? Does that White Claw thing have, like, pumpkin flavor?
No, but they probably will get on that.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter make a joke that if that company doesn't come out with Santa Claus things, that they're have a missed opportunity, which
that's true.
I don't drink them, but that makes sense to me.
Right, but as an investor?
But as a stockholder, that makes sense to me.
I will say that there is a Chicago-based, like, coffee maker or whatever, that just recently launched a hard version of their cold brew cans. So it's like alcohol in cold brew coffee, which just sounds like a bad time for your butt.
Yeah, that sounds like it would make for bad poops.
Yeah, that just sounds like a bad time.
And also just like, Brian, you can't take that to the office. You know that, right?
Yeah. Hey, I know you think you're slick right now, but I can read the can. I know what's in there.
That seems like just a half step above those like Diet Coke commercials that were, I don't know if you saw this, but like the Diet Coke commercial about like the morning meeting.
Oh, yeah.
They were playing that in like movie theaters before trailers of like, this is Brenda. Brenda didn't have breakfast this morning. She's gonna have a Diet Coke for breakfast and she's gonna kick ass in her meeting.
She's a girl boss.
She's gonna snap the neck of Joe in R&D. And it's like, what the fuck is this Diet Coke?
That's what Lean In's all about, baby. Diet Coke.
And it feels like this hard cold brew is taking this. They saw that commercial and were like, you know what we need? We're going to take our cold brew and we're going to put alcohol in it. It's like, wait, what the fuck? You can't have this in a workplace environment.
No, definitely not. But if anyone were to venture into like the alcoholic pumpkin spice latte
oh my
purveyor, it would be them, so.
The last thing I need to see when I'm on public transit is, because I already have to deal with these fuckers on cold brew in the morning. And, like, they're already, like, they're listening to their NPR, so they're, like, chill, but they're on their cold brew, and they're, like, ramping up, and I can see them on their, like, on the bus just getting, like, fucking hyped. Is the last thing...
in quadruple speed.
Yeah, they're, like, in their own seat, but just, like, oscillating during that...
fully stationary, but just, like, their mind's melting.
Yeah, they're just, like, glitching out at that time. The last thing I need is for that to also have alcohol in it. Yeah. So now they're just, like, having conversations with themselves and, like, right. And, like, moving with the bus. Like, they haven't had anything else in their stomach at that time, so they're gonna be extra buzzed.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that person's work emails in the morning.
Right.
As funny as that is in concept, I don't want that. Ever.
Just stroll into work with like a fuck ton of Outlook like calendar invites. What is this? What's going on?
Every 5 minutes there's just another event email. It just says like secret meeting, location is bathroom, winky face.
You know, it's like, what is this? Are you okay?
Oh my god.
God, where are we? What's happening?
I don't know where I am.
This podcast is about Twilight, but also
adulthood,
coffee, and water cooler humor. Let's
all
get
of these
into it.
All of these things are not sponsored, but I'm open to talking about Diet Coke, which I don't drink, but will talk about, and alcoholic cold brew coffee, which I don't drink alcohol or cold brew, but I'm more than willing to talk about your product because I will be bought. Cody, how the fuck are you?
I'm okay. Now I feel like I'm in a weird space, but in a great way, you know?
Now, tell me what you mean by you're now in a weird space, besides the fact that you called me and you screamed at me when I answered the phone.
Okay. The way we're framing this conversation is not ideal.
Your monotone yelling when I answered the phone really set the mood for today.
Okay. Monotone yelling is more apt of a descriptor. I just, you have a week. You get home, you get into the old closet stewed.
Yep.
Sit back, relax, and then call up your old friend, your good friend. And then you just instinctually gutturally scream. It happens.
That's true.
You're lucky it doesn't happen more often because it easily could.
I'm lucky. Yes, I am. I am lucky. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, that's true. I think everyone in their life should have a friend that you can call up and without even saying hi, just monotone yell at them.
Yeah.
For no context. And honestly, sometimes that should just be the conversation there. It just starts and stops at that point. And make it, ideally, that would be someone that you don't necessarily know very well.
Right.
Just make it someone where that is the role that they serve in your life.
Yeah.
Yes, it's certainly been a week. I kept telling my kids Happy Friday today, and they're like, Miss Johnson, stop. It's not.
No.
They're like, please stop getting our hopes up. I had 2 kids clock me today. I had one say that my PowerPoints were too cheerful, and I was like, well, fucking thanks for being honest. It's like, all of you are fakes for not telling me sooner. This is the only kid that's honest. And I was like, I came up to him later, and I was like, are you really? And he's like, yeah, can you tone it down a little bit? And I was like, okay, thanks.
It's like, do you have notes? Do you have anything specific you'd like from me?
He was like, just, because one of the activities that we did is I was like, I didn't need them to bring anything, and so I was like, under the materials needed, I was like, your best self, and he was like, Ms. Johnson, please stop.
Help. Ms. Johnson, there are 7 smiling suns on this one slide.
There was literally a gif of a smiling sun. I have to go. He was like, just a little bit less, and I was like, okay, thank you.
These kids are just trying to learn.
He was like, we're all just so tired, and I was like, okay, it's fine.
I can't see anything you have up there. It's just covered by beautiful gifs, which I appreciate, but there's too many.
Miss Johnson, it's all in hot pink Comic Sans. You have to stop. It's not a bit anymore. And then another one of my, it said, he was talking to one of his friends, and he was like, yeah, I'm so tired of teachers who try so hard. And then he looked at me, and I was like, I hate this. I have to go. Anyways, 7th graders have no chill, and they are very honest, and I definitely don't cry about it when they leave. So,
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, they're great, and teaching is a great job. And it's all full of, they all thank me all the time, and it's great. So, I love my job.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have to repeat that to myself all the time.
It's fine. It's so cool.
But I definitely have a couple kids who, like a couple weeks ago when we first came into our class, that saw, like, all of the copies of Twilight that I have in my library, because I can't fucking keep them here anymore. Because Chris says they bring a bad juju into the home.
It's correct.
And some of my kids were like, can I read those? And I was like, of course you can. So.
Oh, let me tell you something.
So I may have started a new generation Twilight, so.
Oh, yes. Doing the good work all by yourself.
Yep.
When no one else will.
Yeah. So, welcome. It's been 13 minutes. This is a podcast where we talk about toxic masculinity in all forms on the internet.
Yes. Yep.
But specifically, fictional characters mostly.
Right. Specifically not the internet at all, actually, for the most part.
Yeah. Because the real stuff is for people that, well, actually, we're qualified to talk about it. We just choose not to.
I'm willingly an idiot, so
yeah,
I'm an idiot by choice, actually.
We both have paid a lot of money to become qualified for that conversation. Just make an active choice not to have that conversation.
We both have degrees in talking about toxic masculinity.
Yep.
And we just have flushed them down the toilets.
I make an active choice to leave that aside and put it in a corner for
And for that, we are brave.
Truly, I would say.
We should be awarded somehow.
Well, I think we get paid, sort of, for this.
Okay. Alright. I meant more like clout. Like, I want, like, a plaque or something. You know what I mean? I want, like, a little trophy.
Yeah, other than the plaque on my teeth, am I right?
Oh my god.
I hate getting old. Anyway, this week's episode is sponsored by Krez. Okay,
it's like a wild get. Anyway, keep fucking. gotta get out of this hole. We're trapped. We're trapped.
All right, we have a couple of current events that we need to talk about this week. The first one has literally nothing to do with what we've been talking about. So I'm just gonna, there's no transition I can make here. But it is something I'm very excited to talk about.
Hell yeah.
At one point in this podcast lifespan, I would love to be able to do a bonus notice on Selena. It has literally nothing to do with our content, other than the fact that I distinctly remember watching the J-Lo movie about Selena when I was disturbingly young.
Right.
And breaking down, because I thought it was like a real, I knew it was a story, but I thought that like J-Lo was Selena at that time because I was so young. Yeah. And watching her die in that movie like fucking broke me.
Yeah.
I remember like where I was watching that for the first time on TV. Anyways, Netflix is apparently making a show about Selena. And they have selected Kristen Serratos, who is from, we know her as Angela Weber from Twilight, but she's currently been on The Walking Dead as well, to play Selena, which is super cool.
Woo!
I'm really excited about this. I think this is awesome.
Yeah, hell the fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I don't even think I knew that this series was happening.
I don't know either.
But I'm looking forward to seeing more about the series coming to life and how they're gonna adapt the story as well.
Right.
But it's been awesome to kind of see Christian like grow on The Walking Dead and kind of make that like, I don't know, a job's a job, but having that stability is awesome.
We love Twilight actors thriving.
For real. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have a case to corner for us? Thank you.
Case 2 fashion corner / hair corner mostly. It's mostly a hair corner.
And boy is it.
Boy is it. It is different because it's pink. That's the news. The news is that her hair is pink. But it's very, very good.
It's so good.
She's still, like, growing it out, so she's got, like, a lot of root situation, and the ends are, like, a little flamingo bubblegum pink. And it's so cute.
Every time I see photos, someone needs to send me a warning before, is the thing.
Yeah. It's so rude, and there's one photo specifically where she's wearing this fucking jacket. And listeners, if you can track this down for me, I will buy it so quickly.
Is it the red or the red?
It's red, pink, and like 2 types of blue, all in hodgepodge things. It's me in a jacket.
It is. It gives a lot of you
she's
vibes.
Wearing the e-boy chains. It's like there's a lot happening here, and I'm frustrated.
And she's doing what I would consider like the typical K-Stew facial, or she's doing like the typical K-Stew hand gesture too.
And a little bit of a smirk situation. And also holding a plaque with her own name on it, which is powerful. Right? It's a palpable image. I'm
honestly flustered.
Yeah, I'm furious.
I also just want to spend just a little bit more time on this jacket too, because
please God,
we're looking at a Cosmopolitan article right now that is about, it's titled, I think, Kristen Stewart dyed her hair like bubblegum pink, and it has like 16,000 photos on here too. It's like, but we're looking at the literal last photo on here.
Yeah.
And there's so much that I love about this jacket too. Even if it was different patterns, but it almost looks like a high-waisted jacket.
Right.
But I love like the little shoulder decal on there too.
It's little like buttons.
Yes. And there's so much detailing on it that like at first glance you're like, oh, sweet pattern. But then there's also like a whole bunch that's happening too. Right. And I can't tell, like, is it a jacket? Is it a blazer? Is it a top? Like, because I think she's wearing it as a top. but it looks like I have so many questions, but I love it.
It works all the ways.
It's so good.
It's great.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Keisu, for your gift of existing.
Yeah.
Yes. Other gifts. So last week we preemptively reviewed the music video of Don't Call Me Angel. By saying it was good, but we didn't know because it was coming out like a day after we recorded it, and we had no idea. So I haven't actually talked to you about this music video. What were your thoughts about it? Wow. Okay.
You know, I applaud them for trying. And, like, it had all of the ingredients, right?
Sure.
It had Ari. It had Miley, who is sometimes great, sometimes questionable, but oftentimes a net positive, usually.
Sure.
And then we have Lana, sad girl queen.
Yes.
It's a good mix of people. There's a lot of hype going about it. But everything post that is a bit of a leap, bit of a jump into a ditch. That's bad.
Oh. Oh.
How do you feel?
I think it's tough, right? Because they're coming up against Destiny's Child.
Yeah.
As far as reputation goes, right?
Right. Sure.
And they are not an established trio.
Right.
Like it was last time.
Mm-hmm.
And the best review that I got after watching it is Chris looked at me and he was like, he said it seemed like someone dropped out in the contract negotiations. And this came together.
Right.
When I initially saw the trio come together, I was like, why is Lana there? Like, it seemed like Lana was not supposed to be there.
No business being there.
Yeah.
It could have just been like a Miley Ari situation. Because Lana basically wasn't there. She's like, I'm going to dip in for a minute, and I'm gone. Just poof.
The way that they almost set up the song was like that was supposed to be where they put like a rap break or something. Right. And some, like, whatever rapper they wanted fell through, and they were like, oh, shit, we need to get someone. Let's get Lana.
Right.
And so when I first saw it, I was like, oh, God, like, I don't know how this is going to work out. And then, surprisingly, like, Lana was my favorite part of that.
Yeah, I think it's good. There's just not a lot of it, and it feels weird in conjunction with everything else.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Lana's part of it actually felt like if you pulled it out, it could be its own, like, song.
Right.
Like, that was the part that I actually wanted to continue listening to.
Right.
And in the music video, that was the only part where I was like, like, that fits with the movie.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it was fine. It wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah, no. It also felt just so, like, girl power, which, like, I guess is the mood, right, of the whole thing. But it's just like, come on.
To me, it felt very Elizabeth Banks brand of feminism.
Right, yeah.
Which is, like, literally what this is. But also, you could tell, like, they all recorded in different rooms. Mm-hmm. And then they came together for the shoot for the first time. And it was just, like, I don't know. It wasn't what I had hoped for based on the quick teaser that we saw. Which is a shame.
You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it because I'm like, I'm really excited for the movie.
Yeah.
And this is like supposed to be the song, and it's like, I don't know.
Like, I'm not jazzed about this. This doesn't make me want to kick walls. And like, yeah.
No. So, anyway, it was a bummer, but I'm, again, not surprised, given that it... whatever. Okay. So one thing that we did not fully touch on last week was that Bella's birthday was last week, on the 13th.
Virgo Queen.
Truly. And so Kelly Beck had a question that said Bella's birthday was coming up. And they asked, do you think Alice still throws her birthday parties?
Obviously.
I think so, right?
Yeah. She would combust if she couldn't.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, I mean, it seems realistic to me that, like, at some point, maybe not right now in their timeline, but some point soon, they all start to, like, move to different spots.
Right.
And so I feel like birthdays are the time where Alice, like, convinces everyone to come together for...
Yeah, she's the glue.
Like, yeah. So, I think that makes sense to me. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So, I like that. That's a good question. Are you emotionally prepared for this next question?
No.
Okay, well, we had someone on Twitter ask if the characters in You were in Shrek, which ones would they be?
Taylor. We don't pay you nothing for nothing. This is a hate crime that you've done this to us.
But I fucking love this question, though.
Why?
Because it's very, to me, it's very big brain.
Oh, it's for sure like galaxy brain, like yeah. No, for sure. Do you have any idea?
Well, I'm looking at the list of Shrek characters right now on Google.
Okay.
And just their Google images alone is really doing something for me.
Yeah. Oh, I have one right off the bat.
Okay, go.
Blythe,
yes,
for sure, is the fairy godmother from the second one.
I hard agree.
Thank you. And that's all I'm contributing to this cursed question.
What the fuck is the little boy neighbor? What is his name? Why can't I remember his name? Paco, thank you.
God, how quickly we forget. the people that mean the most to us.
I know. God, I legit haven't seen Shrek in so long.
Sure.
Is he... He's gonna be...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's gonna be...
Pinocchio?
I was thinking that or the gingerbread man.
Oh, gingerbread man's good too.
I was thinking the gingerbread man.
Yeah.
Dr. Nicky is definitely Lord Farquaad.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Just because there's a whole complex going on.
Right.
Why does it say in Shrek that Peter Pan is in there?
Isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah. It's like a joke character, I think. But yeah, I think there's like a Peter Pan character.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's
okay.
Joe? Is Joe Shrek?
Well,
Who's
get out of the swamp, you know what I mean? Okay,
Okay.
Joe is Shrek.
Oh, yes. So he could be Shrek, because Shrek is also like, fuck these people that think I'm ugly and don't want me to fuck them. That's fucked up. But also, he could be Prince Dude, where he's just like, also fuck these people that don't want to have sex with me for other reasons.
That's right.
Either way, Beck is probably Fiona, because it makes sense with that. Either way.
Well, they are kind of fucking made for each other.
Right, because they're fucking goblins.
Now, it does make sense given this dynamic. Ethan is definitely Donkey.
Oh, yes. Hard agree.
Who are we missing? Peach?
Oh.
Peach.
Oh, no. Hold on. No. My galaxy brain has exploded. Peach is the fairy godmother. Blythe is the sexy dragon.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Fuck, sorry. Amateur hour.
Obviously. How dare us?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Puss in Boots?
Fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck.
The one that's always, like, coughing up hairballs and shit.
Is it the friend who's like an influencer that's just
oh yeah.
She's trying
maybe.
her best, but she's not really there yet. Yeah.
Maybe that makes sense to me.
Who knows?
Yeah. But those are, I think, the main ones. Tag yourself in Shrek, please.
Thank you. I just remember that I've, like, told people about this podcast. And that they might listen to us and talk about Shrek and the cast of You.
Yeah, I've accepted my regrets.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think I've said a lot of regrettable things in the past couple of years. That cancel me, fucks. I don't care.
You don't have the guts. I wish you would. Fuck. Right. Speaking of canceled, let's read these chapters.
No, you can't. You tag yourself in Shrek.
Oh, I thought you were saying, like, to the audience. Like, to
no.
the
listeners. Them too, but I would like you to choose yourself.
Fuck. I think I'm a donkey son. Dragon Moon and Fairy Godmother Rising.
Okay, that was some galaxy brain. I was not expecting you to go that route, but thank you.
Of course.
Okay, if you could do me a favor, this will make the most sense if you can do me a favor and you can Google Shrek characters, please. Just Google. I need you to look at the images for Shrek characters, please.
My agent will not be pleased about this. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I am the. Are you looking? Do you get the little like scrolly screen at the top?
I do. Yep.
Okay. If you can scroll to the second page on that part for me, please.
Okay.
I am the. Do you remember in the first one when they go to get their tickets and there's that little box where it has like Jack and Jill and they like they do the little cursing part? So I'm the mascot son. And then I'm whatever.
And
No, fuck you. And then I'm whatever this Thelanalius moon is.
Oh, like the executor?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then my rising is definitely and obviously.
Oh my god.
It's been so long. It's obviously Princess Fiona because
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just definitely relate to whoever this executioner
is. Oh my god. I'm actually crying.
This like fucking henchman. I don't remember this person at all.
No, but I love that you saw it and you're like, yeah, I get it.
I just distinctly remember watching Shrek for the first time, and when they go to get their tickets before Bad like Reputation plays or whatever the fuck,
right?
And like the little animated characters like almost cuss, and I was like, oh my god. Anyways, okay, so yes, please, audience, people, tag yourselves in Shrek and let us know, who you are. Fuck, my cheeks hurt. Okay. I'm so glad we always decide to do something that makes me laugh uncontrollably before we get into the shit that is these fucking chapters. Especially this week, because what the fuck?
Yeah. Fellas.
This book continues to, like, divert from the TV show, but in the weirdest ways.
Yeah, in ways that are so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And bonkers.
And bonkers. So last week, if I remember right, we started to get into why Karen Minty was a bad choice for Joe, and we also started to talk about the King of Queens bit.
Yeah.
Great. Unforgettable
just
content.
Natural content.
Well, love it. Also, last week, Dr. Nikki was starting to divulge to Joe the issues that he was having with his wife, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, this week's chapters would make no fucking sense.
Right.
Okay. So then, chapter 37 starts, and Joe is back at therapy. And just from me being a nosy person, I'm very curious how he balances his schedule, because given that he's the pseudo like owner of this store,
Sure.
I'm imagining that he works more than 40 hours a week.
Sure.
I mean, I'm assuming that he probably gives like at least his weekends to Ethan at this point still.
Right.
But I just want to know, like, when does he see Dr. like...
Yeah, where does he find the time to fabricate and live out a fully other life, basically? And also stalk Beck and keep track of all of her presences and everything. And also have a relationship. And, like, there's so much going on. Who has the time?
No, I don't understand how he has the time.
The math does not add up.
No, it makes no sense to me. So he's back at Dr. Nikki's place, chilling, living his old therapy life.
As you do.
As you do.
Prying in and breaking down your therapist from the inside out.
But this time, Dr. Nikki is the one that's, like, breaking down. Because he's, like, accepting full responsibility, talking about the fact that last time he divulged too much information about his wife problems, I guess. And then Joe starts to be like, and Dr. Nikki's such a good guy, like Mr. Mooney was back in the day, before he got angry at me. And it's like, okay.
Before he disciplined me.
Before he, became an abusive person, but also...
my only father figure.
Yeah.
Listen, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, as it does. And so this chapter is, like, structured really weird in that Joe is, like, comforting Nikki, and also Nikki is, like, attempting to give him a referral, but doesn't at any point say, like, I am doing this so that you can see a new thing. Like, he doesn't say what the referral is for.
Right.
He's just like, do you want to stop seeing, like, do you want to break up?
What is this? What are we? I thought we had something.
It's all very confusing, which should never be the case with your therapist.
Right. Or with,
yes.
I don't know, storytelling.
Oh, like yes.
Writing your book.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be this lost in the interactions.
I should not be. So, at some point during this, there's a lot of, like, Nikki being like, I'm so proud of you, you did this, lots of, like, thanking and all this stuff, and Joe coming to the realization of, like, he wants more than Karen Minty can provide at this time.
Right.
And then finally, Nikki gets a phone call from his wife, and he does the whole, like, my wife, and then he, like,
sorry, I have to attend to my wife.
And finally, after all this time, Joe gets the chance that, like, he started therapy for, which is to snoop on his computer.
He got, like, majorly distracted, huh?
Yeah, he legit started therapy.
Right, like, he actually bettered himself.
He, like, went method.
Yeah, he committed a little too hard to the bit.
I don't know that it necessarily helped him at all, but, like, he like, paid a lot of money, or,
right.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so he goes over to the computer, realizes that, like, Nikki has a family, and they're on, like, what I love about this is on the wallpaper of Nikki's computer, apparently his whole family is standing in front of a Nikki's Pizza, and Joe is, like, disgusted by this. He's like...
Well, because they're also all, like, in the rain, and he's just like, no, guys, we gotta fucking take this. It's my name.
Yeah, that all just felt like a lot, so I understand. And then he finds out that Nikki does not take notes on paper like he seems like he's been doing, but instead just has audio files, so he does his web crimes of sending them to himself.
Wee, you're under arrest. I'm the internet police.
He also downloads a pizza while he's at it, just to cover his tracks. And during this time, he makes a point to, rather than, I don't know why, he's more thorough this time than he was with, like, leaving actual DNA at a crime scene. But make sure that he, like, deletes the email in the sent folder and empties the trash and, like, all this stuff. But anyway. And so he starts to listen to the tapes as he is leaving, and that is where the chapter ends. Pretty short one.
Yeah, a bit of a breeze.
Pretty short one. And then chapter 38 starts, and this is where shit starts to, like, hit the fucking fan, I would say. And what I remember of the TV show, because I remember them doing, like, an acting out version. There were still audio tapes. How old am I fucking? There were audio files.
It's like sounds, but you can have them to yourself and play them for others.
It's the future.
You ever heard of this? Fellas, come in here. We got.
You don't have to use a record player anymore.
It's like the radio, but you got it.
Jesus Christ. They were still audio files in the TV show, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, they were.
But they were just acted out.
Yeah, so I think they were, like, you were listening to his, like, recordings of stuff.
But they were recordings of the sessions.
Yes,
Am I wrong?
No, they were.
Okay.
They were. So they were, but I think he also had, like, captain's log somewhat. But, like, I think the majority of it was, like, which was also fucking crazy, that he recorded the whole sessions, like, verbatim. And then they were also, like, acted out, whatever. But that, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember in the TV show that it was, like, you would see the way that Joe, when he was, like, listening to them, is he was, like, seeing Beck on the couch, and then he was seeing himself as Nikki, right?
Yeah.
That's how I remember that scene going.
Right.
Okay. But in this version, Joe was just listening to Nikki's, like, captain's log kind of things. Which is this gets, like, way different.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's, like, just his side of the story here. Yeah. Which is, again, it's not objective. So, Joe goes to the deli and gets what he describes as, like, very cheap headphones.
He's fuming.
And he, like, Hulk smashes them open, like, cracks the plastic, which, to be fair, like, I get it. That stuff's tight.
Yeah.
And starts to listen to these on the subway. As he makes a point to note that he is sitting across from a blind black man who is smiling. That is very important to Joe in this scene.
Yep.
And I hate this chapter, because then he starts to listen to Nikki's captain's logs, and because they're in Nikki's, again, not a doctor, logs, they are gross and subjective.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's like Beck, but she is making an active choice to seek help with, as he describes in the first one, with her hypersexualization, with her boundary issues, her father issues, and her issues with men.
Right.
She is communicating those issues and wanting to come in and make change.
And he takes those notes and is like, all right, so do we want to just continue this? Do you want to make this worse for everyone? It's like, I could help you, right? But that would be not fun. Because you wear these... I mean, how am I supposed to say no when you're wearing those little skirts, you're crossing your legs, and you're not wearing bras?
Yeah.
How am I not gonna have sex with you when you're emotionally and clearly damaged and needing help and distancing yourself from men and use sleeping with men as a coping mechanism for a lot of other problems? Of course I'm gonna have sex with you.
It's so gross.
Of course.
There's a part, too, where he says, like, I think it's in the... It might not. It's like in the second session or something where he says, we establish goals. She wants sexual confidence, which I find amusing because she is sex.
Ugh.
And it's like, what the these are not captain's logs. These are you're supposed to be taking notes.
Yeah.
And
if you had to report this to like a supervisor, you're like, oh, here's what I've been up to, doc. They would put you on for trial.
If for whatever reason these needed to be sent out to like other doctors or for insurance or things, like they are a method of tracking data.
Right.
That is not data.
Yeah, no, this is useless. You're just horny on video on audio tape. What the fuck?
I'm just imagining like next to that like Nikki just drew a little dick and like it's just like it's just awful.
Yeah, it's rough stuff.
Yeah. And
Stamos, why?
And that's the thing too, is I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about the little like oikos, like the Greek, and I'm like, this John Stamos, the yogurt dude, this guy,
yeah,
and all those probiotics.
Uncle
that's
Jesse.
Not my Uncle Jesse. No. And
God.
And he keeps going on too as like, I'm so tired of Marcia and the broken washing machine, but Beck, she's a reprieve. And it's like, yeah, that's what marriage is supposed to be, right? Just your fucking wife and your fucking broken washing machine.
My fucking pizza sign that there's a photo of that we all hate, but we keep it because it's the only thing holding us together.
You just gotta do it for fucking Nikki's pizza.
Yeah. I do love this idea, though, that Beck is just some beautiful solace in a terrible marriage.
Yeah.
When she's not just, like, a fully fucked up college student.
Just the most fucked up,
just, like, yeah,
kid.
In a lot of debt, and just, like, going through some shit, is an English master's student. Like, she's going through it.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get medical help.
Yeah.
And trying to get brain help, and, like, figuring her shit out. And he's like, oh, this is what I need. I need this. This is the stuff that I've been missing, baby, with my security and my love and years of commitment and passion and children. This is it.
And this almost, like, underscores your thought that I think you mentioned last week, too, about this author, like, being very anti-therapy.
Yeah.
Because there's one of the captain's logs mentions Beck feeling comfortable to share with Nikki about the green fuck pillow.
Yeah.
And can, like, I cannot imagine feeling comfortable enough with a therapist to be like, hey, I'm going to talk to you about my sex life and also talk to you about my trauma. And then that therapist coming back and being like, captain's log, I want to talk about my current fuck person and their fuck pillow and the fantasies that I have about them and this fuck pillow.
Yeah.
And how it makes me want nothing to do with my marriage and how I just want to fantasize about this person. It's like, okay.
Like, imagine being in that scenario where you're like, okay, so my patient just opened up to me about sexual trauma and a lot of ways that she's used sex as a coping mechanism, and like in the physical ways that she does that. Is this an invitation for me to sleep with her? Is this her asking me to fuck her?
Yeah,
'cause I'll do it.
I cannot relate.
It's like, no, that's not at all what that means.
Yeah,
if she wanted to fuck someone.
Beck has been pretty obvious about it.
Right. Like, if she's gonna fuck someone senselessly as a coping mechanism. She's not gonna pay you a lot of money to do that for therapy.
Yeah,
She can do that with some dude at a bar. She can do that with a bunch of other ways. But she's not gonna go to her therapist.
No, I feel like Beck definitely wouldn't do it.
To blow him. Like, that's not what's happening. What?
Mm-mm. No.
That's a fake scenario.
Yeah. And then, so we've seen, like, several of these captain's logs so far. Keeping in mind that Joe is listening on, like, tinny headphones on the subway.
Right.
Getting angry and angrier.
Just fuming.
Yes. And he wants to tear his own head off, is what he says.
Yeah.
And so he finally, like, realizes that he got off on the wrong, or, like, he missed his stop, so he gets off, finally, heads back to his apartment, and then he sees on his stoop that Karen Minty is there with a picnic basket.
Oh, shit.
And she's like, hey, person that I enjoy.
In a box set of King of Queens.
She's like, what up? I made you a picnic. And Joe's reaction is like, fuck this. I want to go inside and throw typewriters at the walls.
Just fully a lunatic.
Yeah. And he's just so upset and also startled because he says he's never seen a picnic basket in real life. I don't know that I ever have, so fair.
Yeah. Like, I was going to clock you, but actually...
I don't know that I've ever seen, like, a wooden picnic. Yeah. So he's, like, all pissed off and bringing that energy to the space. And she's like, excuse me, I made all this food from scratch. And so he, of course, is getting all frustrated with her. And finally, Karen Minty stands up for herself.
Yeah.
And as she should. And asks, like, do you think I'm some fucking ragdoll? And Joe, because he's Joe, says that's exactly what you are.
Correct. I'm
Because
incapable of emotions.
Because he's an awful person. Yeah. Then we find out some backstory about how Karen was the first person to teach Joe how to vacuum, apparently. Or at least, like, vacuum at that apartment. Yeah. But she apparently, and God, I've been this person for a couple exes. Yeah. But she, like, dragged a vacuum cleaner all the way to his place, presumably across town, and, like, vacuumed his apartment because she didn't want to stay there if there was, like, a possibility of mice being there. And it's just like, oh, God, Karen, I want to drag you, but I've been you, so I get it. Karen, I get it. Yeah. So she's understandably like, I don't understand why you're mad at me. I just wanted to make us a picnic. And then she realizes that he is going to be dumping her.
Womp womp.
And I feel bad, but also it's like, Karen, get out. Go.
Yeah, like,
run as far as you can, please.
Go date Kevin James.
Please live a happy life with Karen James.
Okay,
honestly,
better.
Go find Kevin James and live a happy life.
Yeah, that's what you deserve.
But she runs away crying, unfortunately, but she, like, leaves the picnic basket for him, which is fucked up.
He doesn't deserve that.
No, because he eats this, what he considers his, like, last supper of all this food that she made from scratch. Ugh. And listens to the recordings. And it's just, like, he's getting more and more angry about Dr. Nikki. And it's like, I wonder what he's gonna do.
Oh, boy.
I wonder what he's gonna do, given that he's on a track record of killing everyone that's gotten in his way before.
Interesting.
That is chapter 38. And so next week we're on to chapter 39 and 40. We will get there before the end of the year, I promise.
I swear to God. I swan to John.
I swan to John. We do have some time for our sponsors.
Excuse me?
Our sponsor, our patrons.
Ooh. We've been visited by a French nobleman. What an honor.
Yes. And this, we pulled up a piece that we were originally going to talk about during our current events corner. And it's just a Distractify piece about Bella Swan's birthday. Ooh. But we decided to keep it for our Pushroll corner, given the amount of great memes that are included. It's very good.
It's grand.
It's very good. I would highly recommend some of you look at these because they are great.
Yeah, there's some good shit in here. Shout out to Kelly Beck.
Whoa.
Ow, 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 ow. Who's gonna be number 2?
Oh my god.
Which is the perfect apex of this podcast, which is Twilight and also Bon Appetit. And it says, Bella following Edward into the woods at literally any point in the Twilight series. And it's Claire saying, this is a bad idea. Alright, I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, we need to put this on our Twitter ASAP.
Yeah,
it's literally us.
Yes.
Shout out to Sophia Salinger.
Pew, 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 pew.
Who is gonna be number 1, which is literally me always, which is Bella's reaction whenever Edward plays the piano, and it is the gif of Michael Jackson saying, I love this song.
Yeah.
That is me always.
Shout out to Aaron Salinger.
Woo!
Whoa. It's gonna be number 3, baby.
I knew it.
It's so good. Oh, I was gonna save it for later, but I didn't want you to steal it from me, so I gotta just
I was gonna too.
Into it. It is Bella. I've actually already eaten. It's Rosalie, and it's a photo of Elmo? Question mark. But like, so the color grading of it, it's like it looks like he's in hell. Basically, it's like fully awash with red, and he's pissed. But the best part is that whoever had made this image just drew on little eyebrows, like 2 just little sticks going up. So he looks really angry, and it's a fat mood.
I'm gonna change your... I don't know. So, your contact photo in my phone is still, it's still the fucking candle from... It's still, like, the fucking chip candle.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna have to change it to this Elmo, because...
Yeah, that's me.
Because it is... I don't know who took this photo of you without your permission.
I know.
But...
You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Okay. Shout out to Alex Blythe.
Yeah.
And I think I might just need to do these in order because these are so fucking good. Shout out to Alex Blythe. This is number 4, which is Edward. How did you figure out I was a vampire? Bella. And then it's this fucking Timmy Turner screen cap that just says internet. Which is same.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
Taylor Brown Town Hotner.
Same.
Our favorite intern. And
Thank you for your work.
Thank you for your service, and a Marine.
Thanks, Mom. Marine.
Who's gonna be me, who has read the entire Twilight Saga many times, sitting in the theater and watching Bella open her eyes to reveal her blood red irises at the end of Breaking Dawn Part 1, and it's just the Pikachu surprise meme. It's just like, what?
So, fun fact about this, I have convinced Chris somehow, we have this, like, unspoken agreement that, like, once a year, I get him to watch the Twilight movies with me. So, like, we watched New moon this year, and so, like, next year we'll watch Eclipse, and I cannot wait to just, like, smack him on the arm when this happens, be like, watch this, and then, because I never get tired of that moment when her just, like, I get whole body chills every time, and I've literally watched that movie over 200 times, at least.
For sure.
It's so fucking embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Katie Weber.
Pew, pew, pew.
I don't even know how to fucking describe this one. Okay. Who's gonna be Bella upon seeing Edward in the sunlight. Ooh, shiny. Edward, this is the skin of a killer Bella Cullen, and it's just this fucking scream cap from Edward in Twilight when he's out in the sun. He has his fucking diamond skin, but it's like just the I don't even know. It's just like Robert's soul came out in the middle of filming.
Exposed a little bit. Yeah, he's just like, yeah. Oh, Bella.
I cannot.
Bella.
It's somewhere in the middle of, like, please kill me, and also, like, Jizz face of just, like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. And because of the diamond skin, he just looks wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's shedding, like he's a snake boy, and he's just shedding his skin.
A snake boy made out of, like, I don't know, fucking Becca highlighter kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Okay.
Shout out to Simon
motherfucking Steele.
Yes. Who's gonna be, I will never not be uncomfortable with the fact that the weird hybrid devil gremlin baby had to be bitten out of Bella.
Did you write this?
Yes. And then someone responded saying, hashtag, if your relationship the real thing, is your relationship the real thing if your BF doesn't know what your placenta tastes like? And then just, like, the slanty face. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, man. These are so good. These are all so good.
God.
Yes, this is one of the best collections of memes I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's so very good curation, for sure.
Thank you, Distractify, for honestly doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, hit after hit.
Okay, so I don't think that I have read this fanfiction.
Great.
But don't fucking quote.
There's no way to check. Don't even try.
There's no way to check. There's no way to check.
Done.
There's no way to check. But what I'm gonna send you the accompanying artwork that was made for this.
Always
just to really, like, set the mood.
Sure.
For this. I'm reading on the Hugo Award winning Archive of Our Own today.
Pay some fucking respects.
And the fanfiction today is called the fanfiction today is called The Path We Choose, and it is written by Les16. Could you please describe the artwork that I just sent to you, please?
Must I?
I would. I need it, actually.
It looks like a postcard. And also, like, someone was like, I'm gonna make graphic design my thing.
Yep. Me.
And it says, the path we choose, a chance meeting in the park. With an ellipses, but there's 4, so it's not a real ellipses. And then there's a beautiful scene behind them that's burning. And there's Edward and just some random woman.
Yeah.
In the corner that says mine, yours, forever. And then on the left corner here, we got 2 white children. Just peeking out in the corner that say, will you be our mommy? Mommy capital.
Great.
And that's it. I hate it. I hate looking at it.
Yeah. That's basically the summary of this. Edward is a 32-year-old single father of 7-year-old twins, Maddie and Mason. After literally crashing into Bella in Central Park, he realizes everything he has been missing in his life. Is Bella really what he has been looking for, or is she hiding who she truly is? And this was written in 2012, and it has almost 650,000 words.
Jesus.
And I will read all of them for you today.
Strap in!
Do you think, is there any desire for a bonus Jonas of me actually reading a whole fan fiction? Is that anything?
Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe when I'm not actually the most fucking congested. But.
Sure.
Okay. Also, this person says, I hope you like my story. Please leave me a review and let me know what you think. So, okay.
Oh.
All right, this is from the prologue. I walked into the kitchen after I took my shower, still thinking about last night, or technically, this morning. Last night had been so incredible, and being with Bella was almost indescribable. I loved her so much, and the realization I got every time I thought of finding her, I got more and more dumbfounded at the way fate brought her to me. I sure as hell never expected to feel this way about someone, and I had resigned myself to the fact that I probably would never find the woman that I would want to spend the rest of my life with. These last few days with her at my most favorite and special place had been amazing and more than just a little bit needed. Not to sound like too much of a pussy or anything, but it brought us even more closer than before. There was still so much to find out about her and me, just because I knew I didn't like talking about all my shit too much, and the last few days before everyone got here had gone a long way to doing just that. I couldn't believe all the things I didn't know about her before, though. Being with her constantly for 3 days had taught me so much about her. Just by watching her throughout the days and the little things she did. I was telling you, walking into that garage the other night and seeing her play the drums, yeah, hottest fucking thing ever. And the car and watching her cook, well, just every damn thing about her. So fucking hot. End scene. Playing the drums, Cody?
Yeah.
Playing the drums. It's the hottest thing you can do. Objectively.
Listen. Yeah.
That's just science.
That's science. Fuck a piano.
Well, don't.
That's but not do fuck a drum set.
But don't fuck a piano, but do fuck a drum set.
Right, listen. Don't fuck a typewriter. Don't fuck a piano. If you take anything away from this podcast.
That sounds like a children's book.
Yes. I am self-publishing it. It's out fall 2020. Please pre-order it.
Sounds like a when you give a mouse a cookie thing.
Yeah. When you fuck a typewriter. Fuck.
Literally. All right. How do we fucking end this? As we say in Seattle.
Get it.
And get fucking whipped. God.
Fuck.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can find us on Twitter at Earbud Media and listen to the rest of our shows. You can find this show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, as well as intothetwilight.show. You can send us an email at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can also become a sponsor of the show or buy some merch at intothetwilight.bigcartel.com. Our art is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram, and our music is done by Eli Krause, you can find at Eli Sauerkraus and KrausFilms.com. The intro and outro is by KB Smith, who you can find at KB__Smith on Twitter. You can find Allie on Twitter at Into Wild Places, and you can find me at Dyke Discourse.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.